Hello, happy Wednesday, happy new vlog. It's market recap time, so if you saw my video from Monday, you'll see the market prep. This video is going to be all about how we did at the market. So we're going to cut to a video on my phone of how I had my table set up. Then we'll cut to me talking about the market, mid-market. Then we'll come back here and review sales and actual numbers. Okay, see you in a second. Okay, so the market so far has been going exceedingly well. I sold out of all of my Shrek stuff in like the first hour. The keychains were like flying off the rack, literally could not keep them on there. I even made another balloon frog from the movie while someone waited for me to get it done for them because they saw one, came back and it was gone, so I told them I would make them one. I sold my gigantic horse, which was crazy. The guy bought it. He actually paid me more than what I was asking, which I love. And he gave me a hug. Then he came back around and bought something else for like a niece or nephew or somebody that was having a baby. We've sold the Dorito chip bag, a mesh market bag. We've sold some hats. I marked all of them down to $15, so that's probably why those are going. But I'm glad that they're finally getting gone because I've had them for so long. What else? Have I sold anything else crazy? Not really. A lot of little things. All my geese are gone. Then I sold a chicken with a frog hat. Someone took the goose hats and like put one on one of my chickens and bought it. People have been buying the goose hats for their cats or their small dogs, which I find very interesting. Love that. Yeah, we'll have to go over how much money we made later, but so far so good. Very, very happy. Okay, so now that you saw all that, we'll get into the nitty gritty. Where to start? So we'll just go through the whole list of everything that's sold. I have here that I sold 61 items, but some of those were not quite items. We'll get into that. I'm just going to read off the list that I have from my Square website report. Okay, so we sold one of my rainbow hangers. We sold 4 scrunchies. We sold the adult bucket hat that was blue and it had a daisy on it that matched my goose hat. And it was like the Mrs. Nesbitt style hat. We also sold the adult frog bucket hat. We sold the little peep bunny that I've had that's velvet. Let's see. We sold a beanie, a cotton mesh market bag. We sold the goose daisy Mrs. Nesbitt hat. We sold another beanie. We sold the donkey outfit, the donkey goose hoodie. We sold the Dorito chip crossbody bag. We sold the little flower goose hat. It was like an upside down yellow flower. We sold the frog bucket hat for the goose. We sold the fuzzy bear hat. We sold my giant horse. That was the biggest sale of the day. The giant horse that has been around on the vlog for a while. It sat here for over a year. And they actually overpaid for it. I had been asking $80 at my markets, and on my website they paid me $100 and asked for no change back, so love that. Okay, we sold both of our itty bitty Fiona keychains that had like all the voluptuous hair on them. It says here that I sold 2 itty bitty gingerbread men keychains, but I think I need to update that, which means I sold more than I thought I did. Because I actually sold 3 of them. I only had 1 left. But I don't remember how that person paid. Obviously not by card. It had to have been cash or Venmo. Okay, we'll get into that later. I sold all my Puss in Boots keychains. I sold my last jumbo snake. No more snakes. I made them last year for Year of the Snake, and I finally got rid of the last one. I sold all 3 of my geese that I took. I sold my last chicken that I had. Well, my last like large, like my regular size chickens that are similar to my geese sized ones. I still have my jumbo white chicken. Anywho, I sold my little blue splooting elephant. I sold. Which turtle is this? I don't remember if this is the. Oh, so I sold the land turtle that I had kind of made myself. It was tan, and it had like it was like a little splooting land turtle. Let's see, what's next? We sold the Lord Farquaad goose outfit. I sold the little black pot of gold. I sold my last little like velvet loaf puppy that I've had forever. I sold the Shrek goose outfit. I sold the Pikachu goose hat. I sold my sea turtle that I had that was like pink and blue. Made it with jumbo yarn. Sold another mesh market bag. I finally got rid of my little carrot. I've been carrying around that little carrot forever, and I sold it. I think that was like the $12 range carrot. I sold the macaron bag charm that came with the sticker. I sold all of my donkey keychains. I sold the little Fiona keychain that had like acrylic hair that wasn't my favorite and I thought it looked weird. I sold 2 frog balloon keychains. I made one there for someone. They waited for me to finish it because they had seen one. It sold instantly. They waited for me to make one for them. I sold my last tiny frog keychain. I sold my tiny mushroom keychain that came with a sticker. I sold all my Shrek keychains that were just his head. And I sold 3 of my onion keychains. The only one left is the tan one. And then last but not least, I sold my extra large gray loaf cat. It was made with jumbo yarn. So if you were doing math while I read all of that off, it does not equal 61. The last 4 things are uncategorized sales, and they were just donations. So anytime someone overpaid for an item, like when the person bought the horse and they paid $100 and I was asking $80, I rang it up on Squares. They paid for the horse, and then I rang up a separate like donation for $20. So that had happened 4 times that people overpaid for things, and I counted those as donations. So those are 4 extra units that are not actual items that were sold. As far as total sales, we made $740, but like I said, I think that might be off by $8. I'm fairly certain that I sold 3 out of the 4 gingerbread men, and I'm just not sure what happened with one of them. I probably received cash or a Venmo and forgot to like finalize it in Square. So, but for now, $740. That's way better than I expected. I can put my little graph up here for you that shows you the timeline of when things sold. It all kind of happened in the first hour. There's a huge spike where I made over $300 in the first hour from 2 to 3 p.m. And that was like all of the Shrek keychains literally flew off the shelf. Like people were just coming up with 2 and 3 at a time and asking, do I have more? Do I have more? Do I have more? And I regret not making more. I think I just need to focus on keychains from now on and forever. And so I'll also focus on geese because my geese also sold incredibly quickly. One sold before the market even officially opened. Another vendor bought the Shrek goose before the market opened to the public. So I will definitely be making a lot of keychains and geese before my next event. And then right as I was cleaning up, I sold the loaf cat. I actually sold that gray loaf cat for $10 less than I had originally posted it for, but it was for a little girl. She really, really wanted it. She had went and asked her mom for the money for it. She came back and was like, is this enough? And I just said yes. So that's how that worked. And that was the very last thing I sold. Okay. And then what was the other thing I was going to show you? Oh, the next graph I will have editor Jerry put up on the screen for you is my actual like goals and what I spent on stuff for the event itself. So my booth fee was $80. My square fees were $8.84. With food and drink, and I gave my son some cash because he helped me. That all came out to $55. I had originally budgeted $57 for gas, but I only ended up putting 40 in my tank, and that's just what it cost to fill it at the time. And so that's what I spent on gas. And so with the $740 that I made after all of those expenses, I actually brought home $556.16, which is amazing. So for me, with what I usually make it, what the things that I make and the low price point that I have, anytime I make 400 or more at a market, that's a good market to me. So to actually bring home $550 is quite stellar. Love, 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 love. I don't think I talked about this in my previous market recap, but my goal for the summer, basically from my first market at the end of April all the way until early September, my goal is to make $2,400. So far between my first market at the end of April and then this market, we are up to $648. That's the bring home, like I said, after the booth fees, gas, food, all of that. So quarter of the way there. We're doing pretty good. Now I have a good 3 weekends off, I think, until my next market. And we'll start the process all over again. So there's the recap. There's how it really goes down for a crochet business. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you do good at your markets if you're doing markets this year. One bummer is that I did get sick and I'm feeling like crap. Oh, I guess I didn't break it down like I did last time. For this market, I got $242 of sales on the Square card on the tap, $300 in cash, and $198 through Venmo or Zelle. And that's why that $8.84 of fees came through. So I believe it's 2% or something like that Square takes. But I do 100% recommend having a Square card reader, even though they do take a fee. I've had so many people say oh, I can't get that. I didn't bring enough cash. And then I'm like, oh, I take card. And they're like, oh, okay, then go ahead. Let's get that. Let's get 3 things. So I think the card tap is 100% worth it. Especially since they can tap their phones too. A lot of people just tap their phone with Apple Pay. Great investment on the Square reader. Okay. That's all I have to say about that. Thank you for watching. Thank you for following along. See you Friday. We'll be doing custom orders and catching up on all those things that I'm behind on because I was doing market stuff. Hopefully I feel better soon.